So there's quite a lot of different definitions out there for what is an AI agent. Some are quite simple in that it has access to information and a knowledge base and can also execute some actions. And I would say that's the simplest definition of an AI agent. You've then got more complex agentic workflows whereby you would have an AI agent that can then orchestrate lots of different assistants with different skill sets. So you may have an assistant that's brilliant at interpreting legal language, whereas you then may have another assistant which is really good at financial modeling, and they can work in a value chain to complete a task. And I would say that is the more sophisticated end of what people refer to as AI agents. If, say for example, someone asked an AI agent what are the key terms for a credit facility agreement, you may have one assistant which can find the most relevant document based on your question. You may then have another sort of legal assistant that would be able to extract all the relevant clauses. And then you may have another AI agent that's potentially a bit more commercial and can translate that legal text into the actual practical implications for the business. And then you may have another AI agent that just oversees that workflow and actually says, no, this isn't what I was quite looking for, or can you redo this part of the task? And that would work in a loop and then play back to, I guess, the user ultimately with the final answer once that oversight role has been completed, which if you think about the results that you get from ChatGPT today, they're really good, but then breaking it down into subtasks and giving AI assistants specialist knowledge, enabling them to execute actions and interact with information, you're going to get a much better result. But you need to obviously define the use case and make sure it's worth building out all that infrastructure and architecture for. So for me, I think that the two areas where like AI agents will have the most impact is from an investment perspective. So there's lots of sort of complex tasks, especially when it comes to like deal origination, for example, of collecting data sources and then filtering through that data and scoring it, that actually you can build agentic workflows that can support with that. The other side is then investor relations. So investor relations teams typically work a lot in a CRM, Word, PowerPoint, Excel, Outlook. Having add-ins integrated into those can enable IR professionals to use an AI agent to support them with workflows. So for example, automating DDQs using an agent that's got access to a knowledge base of previous DDQs that have been answered. That's a really strong use case for like an AI agent. Biggest thing to consider when thinking about AI agents is that one, the space is moving incredibly quickly. So you might spend a lot of time developing an agentic infrastructure or workflow, and actually in 6 to 12 months time, the technology's moved on and all the connections and stuff have changed, and therefore it falls away. One thing I would say to look into is it's called MCP, Model Context Protocol, and that effectively allows some AI systems such as Claude by Anthropic to interact with other services, whether it's a database, and that's a really sort of interesting area at the minute to look at how you can do more from within your sort of AI interface, whether it be asking it to send an email or update a database,